We're not going to sit here.
The lady said she has.
We're not going to sit here and conflate that women don't marry men that they don't like. With that, like, they're turning down men because they're marrying a man that they did not really have interest to. It was a safe plan. It was a backup plan. It was the one guy who was nice to her and told her all the things that she wanted to and was obsessed with her, but yet she was never obsessed with him. I can't fathom it because I feel like every girl I actually dated really, really liked me. You know what I'm saying? So like if she ever turned me down, which was rare in any of my relationships, it was a real reason. You know, maybe she was really tired and she was on her period and she was like, yo, I'm not even trying to do all of that. That makes sense. But like to turn your spouse down, 20 days out of 30 days and you're on your cycle 7 of those other days, like it means that you're just not attracted to your spouse. You probably never were,
She was attracted to the security.
And
the idea of a relationship, yeah.
How do you know that she was on her cycle?
He just said it.
He said it, yeah, but did he make that up? Or how did he know?
He read the cycle count. I don't know. What is a cycle count?
There's an app for that.
That was for you.
You're not paying attention.
On a 7-day cycle?
It's right here. Nothing's come up yet.
So reason number 1, you're entitled. A common pitfall is men, they think that their relationship turns into a transaction and you own her body. So one of the reasons she doesn't want to have sex with you is she feels like you think you're entitled to her body.
Possession, right?
Whoever wrote this. This is crazy. How's that the first one? Like, that's so
Number
stupid.
2, she doesn't feel you.
There we go. Like, feel you like
she's not into you. She
don't like you no more.
Interested in you.
That should be
She's
number
not
1.
sexually attracted
that should
to
be
you.
number 1.
Yeah.
How does you're entitled override I don't like you? Like, what?
Number 3, she doesn't trust you.
Why are y'all married?
Really, Rome? Why?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of reasons why people get married. And
That they don't trust?
Okay, so this is okay.
Number 4, because you're not leading.
A lot of women, but that's her fault.
Who's the author of this?
Wait a minute. Why are you guys? Because you're not leading, it's still her fault?
Because a woman will marry a bitch ass nigga, right? Knowing he's a bitch ass nigga, and then get mad when he don't become a real ass nigga. It's your fault because you picked the bitch ass nigga.
For what? For safety and security.
And comfort.
Okay.
Not even safety, comfort,
But there's
and coddling.
There's different reasons why things could have changed after the marriage. Who says that man wasn't always initiating and then maybe just in the comfortability of being married, he just stopped doing it?
Wait, no. Leading, we're talking about leading.
Okay.
A man who is a man is going to lead regardless. It's like I have a dog who is a mini Australian Shepherd. When he was out in the dog park, when he was a puppy, he was pushing all the other running dogs. And I was like, what the hell is he doing? And he was hurting them because his nature was to herd. And nobody taught him how to do that. That was his nature. Now, a man who is a non-broken man, and his nature is going to be to lead. I'm not saying he has to be a tyrant. I'm not saying he has to be a dictator, but he's going to lead. He's going to take the initiative, not all the time, but in the key moments. And when a man is not taking the initiative in the key moments, that's when you get a woman that complains. He doesn't lead. He's indecisive. He doesn't make any decisions. He doesn't have any direction. He is now the follower, but he's always been the follower. And she married him because she knew she could do what she wanted with him. Versus when a man is in control or a man is leading, she cannot do what she wants to do all the time. And some women don't like that. So they go for the men that they can get it off on. And they marry that man. Then they stop giving that man sex. And that man is in 8 of the tables, DMs, talking about my girl, wife, keeps rejecting me. I hope this makes sense.
That reminds me of, what's her name in The Color Purple?
Celie?
No.
Sophia?
I'm not the men advocate here, so I like Sophia's character. I'm just saying.
So, go ahead.
He liked it too.
Forever? They didn't show the forever part.
No, he left her and went right back to her.
Exactly, because that was the
then
love of his
He
life.
left again.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not, Rico. You making that
You
up.
know what's crazy? I hate to put this business out there, but I have. I have an
I'm
uncle.
Scared.
I have an uncle, and I have
You
an
can see my
aunt.
face from there? Okay.
Like, what is he about to say?
I have
He's on edge.
an uncle and an aunt who I love dearly. And my aunt had a big issue with me at my mom's house in 2021.
I
Right?
was about to say, is this your mom's side of the family?
Yeah.
Because he says aunt.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. I got an Auntie Sherry and an Aunt Trisha. Right? Biracial. So my Aunt Trisha runs her household. My Uncle Michael, her husband, is like, I don't want to say he's her pet, but like, because he doesn't have a problem with it, like that their relationship works. But I don't know, I only know this side, which is their older side, they're, in their 60s and 70s, my great aunt. And she is like a beast, like Sophia, right? She's like, nah, she's like, Uncle Michael cook. Uncle Michael do dishes. I be chilling. Like, not really, but that's how she is, kind of, And when you could tell, like, when she makes a decision, that decision is that decision. There's no overriding. And Uncle Michael just be rocking with it. He just like, all right, well, Aunt Trisha said okay. So when I was having a conversation with her about me and my girl, and I was like, she's moving to LA, right? And she was like, why? Like, why does she? I mean, she's moving here from LA, and she was like, why? I was like, because I said so. And my Aunt Trisha's like brain couldn't compute. She's like, what do you mean? Because you said, do you think you're God? And I was like, no, I just think that I'm the man in this relationship, and I make the executive decision to have my child here in New Jersey. And she was like, oh, so you think because you're a man, what you say goes? And I automatically saw her for who she really was right in that moment, even though I already knew, but I never really looked at her like that,
I think very moment, she probably saw the same in you.
No, but the thing is, I'm a man. This is what men do. You know what I'm saying? Most men do this, right? Most men are going to make that executive decision. Sometimes it might not be a favorable one in that moment, but at the same time, she was just like, that would never fly in her relationship because she's the one that's going to make the executive decision.
Well, I honestly, I think that because of how you say she is, you saying because I said so really off-put her. And I think that any, like, I don't want to say
Dominant, alpha dominant woman.
Alpha woman, any dominant woman would have that same reaction because it's not really about she gets to make the executive decision. It's like, who are you to say that whatever you say goes? Because you guys were talking about where, how this was going to work. She's pregnant. She's about to have your...
This wasn't a conversation.
Exact. And that's the point. It wasn't a conversation. You said you made the executive decision for her to move here because you needed your daughter here.
Yeah.
It wasn't no conversation. So did she even have a say? Which is probably your aunt's point.
Well,
it's saying, do you think that you're God?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter about how you feel. The actual standpoint is you still have a say-so. Because you can easily say no. You can easily say, I am not going to do it. Now, and the thing is, we got to get out the mindset where somebody makes a decision and somebody follows the decision. That means that somebody stripped your choice of what you decided to do. As an adult, whether you say yes or no, once you act and commit to the decision, you've already said yes. You had an opportunity to say no. Now, again, the thing is, when a man leads, he's going to make the executive decision. And if a woman trusts him, the woman's going to follow the executive decision, even if she doesn't agree with it. But that is part of being a leader. She's seeing it through. Most times, and I pray most times, it works in the benefit of the relationship. I think a man who is actually caring about his relationship and his partner makes an executive decision that even if his wife or spouse does not see the reason, he has already took into consideration how she's going to benefit, how they're going to benefit, and how it's going to be a better play for everyone. But as a leader, not everything's going to make sense. But again, I could tell the way that my aunt
Yes.
is,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it's going to happen. Now, my auntie Sherry and my auntie Risa, when my uncle said, we're moving to North Carolina, they packed their bags and they moved to fucking North Carolina and they raised their family.
You guys are talking about two different things. I think when you meet somebody, when you meet somebody, like just use your aunt, for example, right? You know your aunt as your aunt, your mom's sister, or whoever side.
No,
sister,
my grandmother's sister.
your grandmother's sister, but you don't know her as relationship, Trisha. You know her just from that.
Yeah.
So you don't know, she could be the actual devil in a relationship. You know what I mean? So like what you're saying to her is probably like just made her like bumped heads because she's the alpha in her relationship, but maybe because she has to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. And so when you said, because I'm a man or whatever, she might have been dealing with somebody, not saying anything about your family or anything like that, but she might have been dealing with somebody where she had to take that masculine role or whatever because he wasn't doing right. And in order to keep this relationship together, she had to step up and she had to be that. And she may not have wanted to be that. So when she came across to you, it may have came across as not confrontational, but more or less like who the fuck you think you are? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But really, she had to become that, because I don't think women are out here asking to be in a man's role. And I think every day on the internet, like we see that where women like, soft life and provide a protector, like that's what they're asking for. But I don't think a lot of women are able to give up that control to be that.
And I agree, but I think I see, in my personal opinion, what happened over there happens over here, right? Where my great grandmother, her parent, like I didn't know my great grandmother was not Italian until she passed away, right? Because my great grandfather was an old school Italian dude, that side of the family. And he told me that she was Italian because Italians had to date Italians, right? So, and I looked at how the relationship was, and he was like the real traditional man who we would probably consider controlling today. You get me? Now, my aunt was the same thing that we're seeing today. The one who didn't want to be like their mother, so she wanted to wear the pants. I feel as if she was always that way. Like, I don't want to have to be, I don't want to have to feel like I'm underneath the man. And because of that, because of how her, and I could be wrong because I wasn't there as they grew up. I'm just, speaking from what I know and what I've seen. And I have a good relationship with my great grandparents. They passed away when I was 18, 19. So I was able to see a lot, And what I realized is like my aunt was always that woman, even since I was a kid, who always tried to be the boss of everybody.
Was she an Aries?
No, she's not an Aries. She's a Libra. She's a fucking Libra. Oh my God, that makes sense. She always thought she knew it all. And she's very smart though. She is very smart. And but she always wanted to be the boss of everybody. Everything. Like family, but my grandfather wasn't going for that shit. My great grandfather. So when he was alive, everything was put in check. But I'm putting all this shit while we were talking, I'm putting it all together. When my great grandfather passed, my Aunt Trisha took over everything. All the family activities had to be done at her house, had to be done at this time. She made all the games. And I'm like, you're just a control freak. But I do realize that there are women who watch other women and they don't respect other women who are submissive to their man. And I realize that now this is something that has been brewing for a couple generations. And so when they see another woman as being submissive to a man, they feel as if all the negative intangibles are happening. she's being silenced, she's being manipulated, she doesn't have a say so or a right in her relationship, and they automatically, think of the worst of that woman or the worst of the situation that woman's in. But really, there's a lot of women who like, I just want a man who's going to figure this shit out. I'm just trying to do what I need to do for my relationship, and I want my husband to deal with the burden, right? And I think that women like my aunt can't fathom that part because she has to be the one that's included in everything. She has to be able to oversee everything. And it could be from a bunch of different things that may have happened while she grew up. I don't know. But I see a lot of women like that today. And I've always had a listen,
Wow.
step down.
Okay. Alan sent me something. Do you think that women turn down sex because they're not in their feminine energy?
One of the subcategories is that she simply doesn't feel sexy anymore. And whether that's from what Rico was saying in terms of maybe she became a little bit, whatever, in terms of she gained weight, or you stopped giving her the attention you used to give her, the compliments you used to give her, is that she may not feel sexy anymore.
Agreed.
Is that
she
a
might
thing?
not be attractive to him anymore, but she probably still finds herself attractive. She probably doesn't think that he finds her attractive.
It sounds like she's really in her head.
But how do you tell people to get out of your head?
I think
You need reassurance. If she feels like he's not reassuring her, complimenting her, like letting her know that she's sexy or attractive to him,
so.
how is she supposed to know?
How do
I
you
feel like
reassure
when you're in a
woman?
relationship for a long time with somebody, you can compliment this person, and those compliments just become just run of the mill. So you may not even be hearing the compliments. I call you beautiful 3,000 times a day,
Nope. That's not
but
true.
I call you beautiful 2,999 times a day. You're going to realize that one time I didn't call you that, and you're going to hold on to that shit, and then you're going to fucking internalize it, and you're going to say, "Oh, you don't find me attractive no more," when really you never responded to the other 2,999 that I said.
Well, that's a story.
That's a fact.
It's not a story. I'm saying if you think about just seeing the same person every day butt naked, you gotta.
You don't think she fine every time?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to find new ways or different ways to compliment somebody. Like keep trying new things because the same old compliments may not work.
Right.
And she might not be receptive to the same thing. So that doesn't put it on me to like.
It does. It means don't just say you look beautiful because you know that that's what you usually say. How about you just strip her?
What? Okay. Go ahead.
So
Finish your statement. Finish it.
Yeah, I know. I want to make sure we get into this
Finish
part
your
of the
statement.
episode.
If you initiate,
No, say it the way you're
something-
going to say it.
No.
No, you should just do
Say it
what?
the way you're going to say it. Do what?
Strip her
It's
down.
from a woman. Men didn't say this.
Take her pants off.
And y'all saying we claim we own y'all body, but you telling us to come take it.
That's what I'm saying. First of all, I'm not saying that means you're possessive. That just means that's another way.
I didn't say possessive at all.
Okay, we were talking about possessive earlier.
okay.
So that's when you said like own your bodies. Okay, that's all I meant. But no, that's just a different way to show her that you're attracted to her. It's not really all about telling her you love her, that she's beautiful 3,000 times a
Mhm.
day. It doesn't always have to be about that. Like find different ways to.
Got it. And then so I think the biggest piece of this is the whole rejection piece, because if you don't want to have sex with me and I'm telling you you're beautiful and I go try and you push my hand away, I might as well just leave the damn house. Honestly. I mean, it's never happened to me. I'm just imagining like you saying like, no.
What if it ever did?
No.
Lord Jesus.
A hard time with rejection and rejection to the person that you married, and y'all do this thing like marriage is like the goal, and that's what you wanted your whole life, and I've been waiting for the white picket fence and all that stuff, and then when you get it,
Ooh. ate at the table, or
I'm saying it just seems to be like I want somebody to settle down. I want to find somebody to settle down with and have this blissful life. But that's only the good things. This is the bad part of marriage, or the things that happen in marriage. And I don't think y'all are prepared for that. So when you reject a man, he's probably going to get in his feelings, because if we rejected you, you'd be on another, it'd be something else. I'll find somebody that want me and all the other stuff. But if we say, "Oh, I'll find somebody we want me," then it's a completely different conversation. It's not a fair trade.
well, I think it's the same conversation, because I don't think whether a woman says that to a man or if a man says that to a woman, that it'll be two different conversations.
You're serious right now.
It's disrespectful as hell to say that to anyone.
Okay, so being that is, stay on there, it's disrespectful as hell, right? Who would be the first one to say that? Would a man be like, I could find somebody else or whatever? Or would more times than not, I'm not saying all, more times than not, whose mouth would that come out of?
I would honestly think that he was fucking somebody else.